Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
You are listening to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And we're here to tell you that. I'm Alana.
I'm Kelsey.
And we are on episode 121?
120.
Damn it. My list is wrong again then.
No.
Is it? Well, yes, we are recording this one, I guess, a couple days later than we usually do, and it's got me all confused now.
Yeah.
What's new? But this will, of course, be coming out to you on Friday, wherever your Fridays are taking you. So we hope you've survived the week, and I hope I do too. Oh yeah, it's October now, and I decided I was doing sober October for however long that lasts, so we'll see.
Oh, really? As I sit here and drink beer. I'm still trying to drink the ones from the cans I bought.
Oops.
This was my, I thought this would be number 3 spot on like how much I would enjoy them.
Oops.
So I don't know. So
Yeah.
far it only tastes slightly better than the other ones I've drank. I think that's because this one's a blackberry wheat ale. So like
that's the blackberry. That thing
yeah,
sounds
it's got
good.
like a bit of a flavor. I really like the can. It's called the Prairie Fairy, so it's got like this dude with crazy hair and like a mustache on it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. He's got wings.
And like
He's got butterfly wings coming out of his head.
yeah, and like makeup and everything. I don't know, I dig the
and so got
can.
hoops.
Yeah, he got
yeah,
hoops.
It's a cool one.
Yeah, it's all in pink. It says it's Fruit
Well, I like
Loop.
the colors. There's some pale blue going on. Nice.
So,
well, no, that's
I bought
all
it
good.
for the can.
I'm still gonna be smoking. Don't worry. I got my little vape cart.
Yeah.
So I'll be good to go. But yeah. I don't know. I've tried doing it in January before, but January is such a rough month that, like, in January, I think I gave up wine this year, but I still like would have some coolers or whatever. But then at least I wasn't like wine Wednesday. And then you're like coming to work like Thursday, like, oh, I hate myself, like,
yeah.
But also wasn't like I like, if you go without a month, then maybe you could like feel a little better, like possibly drop a few pounds. Who knows? Just putting that out there into the universe. But yeah. So what's new with y'all? It's Thanksgiving when this comes out in Canada. It'll be our Thanksgiving weekend. We have it early, y'all. It's actually even earlier than I feel like last year it was like the 12th or something. I don't know. It's one of those ones that seems to fluctuate a little bit, right? Like it's like the second Monday or something.
I have such a hard time following holidays. I mean, if it's not Christmas and if it's not New Year's Day, I feel like or like Valentine's Day, I feel like I never actually know what the date of it's supposed to be. So
yeah, especially you don't usually get the date off too. So
yeah, so everything seems to catch me by surprise now. Where I'm just like, when people are like, my mom started asking me about Thanksgiving, and I was like, Thanksgiving? Oh yeah, like that's a thing that exists.
Well, it does seem early here too, especially when the weather's been so nice. So
yeah,
can't really complain about that. It's been pretty decently warm here still, and
yeah, not bad. It's been a nice fall so far. I dig it.
Yeah.
Gordo, excuse you.
I dig it. Oh,
it's just like here.
Oh, sorry. Yes, he's very posing against the wall right now. He stopped, and I could have taken his picture like he was like, for the Insta, for the gram. Yeah. I wonder what all you cryptic cuties are up to for your start of fall. I want to go to that corn maze here. I've never been. I want to do that. It's supposed to be fun. But I don't know. It's going to be freaking cold before we know it, so it'll be Halloween and then...
Hi, Gordo,
whatever.
lay down. Lay down, please. Yeah.
Oh, shit. No, I was going to say, everybody, if you love us, which why wouldn't you if you're here, go and join our TikTok, because I'm gonna start a new TikTok series. I think I'm gonna call it like Fast Fact Friday or something.
Nice.
I mean, we always come out on Fridays, and sometimes I tell freaky facts on here, so I thought it might be a fun way. And then I could be like, Fun Fact Friday with Fen, and then just cut to him sleeping on the floor or something. He's super
The
cute.
pod dog. Yeah.
The pod dog. He's our mascot. Always will be, and so is Gordo. He could be on our merch.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, our Sasquatch guy is cute too. I don't know. You guys tell us what you want on the merch. Gordo's tail, which is blocking half the camera.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because you guys don't care. We're not on the YouTubes filming up our eps.
I'm going to put my mic on this other side because you're being annoying. Your swooshy tail.
Pause for cat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be cute to have little like stickers or buttons or something, or like little pins of them.
Oh my god, I could add one to my creepy coat. Yes. Yeah, you guys could
so
wrap
if you
us.
feel like have any ideas or designs or anything that you'd like to submit, we would love to see that. It'd be really cool if we could have some stuff done by fans that were sent in.
I like it when people tell like the favorite quotes. They'll be like, you said this, and you're like, oh my god, did I? Oh, so where? Hang on, I had the one of those reviews. They said something about us.
Aw, yeah, Alana was telling me we had all these really nice reviews on, was it like Spotify or Good Pods or something?
Looked like they were mostly on iTunes. What did I do with them?
Okay.
I know, I couldn't see our iTunes ones before. Literally all I did was Google. Oh, they're in the bag. It's so weird. I was told we had, because I knew we had some reviews on like iTunes before, but I don't have like an iTunes account or Apple anything, and could never seem to figure out, and then could never seem to see any of ours.
Okay.
But people had told me they had reviewed us. But anyway, so I just happened to like go and was like, do we have any new reviews? Because I was listening to someone else talk about their reviews, and then it was like, yeah, you have like, it led me to this whole page. It was like,
aww,
it was
you
like,
guys.
It's like it almost compiled them on, I don't know, something. Just type in reviews for castles and cryptids, and that's where it was all there. But the one that made me laugh, okay, listen to this, from Kiwi 0699. It said, they said, listen, these ladies are amazing. I love the sing talking they do and their natural banter.
Yeah. Alana does good at the sing talking. I'm not a singer. Alana does pretty good.
I was like, wait, do we do that? Which is always a fun thing
when
to
I'm
be
editing, I'm like, here we go. We sang again.
We sang again. Oh no. Okay. And then they go on. Usually I have to skip through banter when I first start a podcast, but don't with these ladies. They're so personable and make me feel like I'm hanging out with my friends. The spooky, creepy topics are just the cherry on top. This is so sweet.
It really is. I know
love
sometimes
that.
we say, I think in our newest episode, I did cut out huge sections. I think we we started talking about I think a couple TV shows, and it was like, I don't know, between 5 and 10 minutes long, and we did it like 3 times. I was like, I'm gonna cut all this because it's a lot and it's already a long episode. Like,
Yeah, it depends because yeah, sometimes we just get to
yeah.
chatting and then you're like, oh wait, I'll just ask her about Outlander, but then I'll cut this out later. That's what I think to myself anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
too, and
but
because
yeah.
that the last episode I edited at least was the Patreon episode, so like I wasn't editing like as much, but it was like I feel like a lot of this people aren't
Oh yeah, we
necessarily.
go crazy on there and we just like
Yeah, it was
chat
quite a
away.
bit. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna cut some of this out. I was like, it's a bit too much. It's like still gonna be like 2 hours.
Oh
But
really? Oh.
yeah, it's funny. Alana and I can just, I don't know, we could hopscotch from one topic to the next. I feel like we've always been like that, where I don't know, we could just talk for 8 hours straight and it wouldn't like just endlessly. We would just somehow just like go on to the next thing and you wouldn't be able to trace how we got from point A to point B. But like we could talk
No.
for 8 hours straight.
Although now I know that maybe that's a little ADHD related, but
Yeah.
maybe we all have a little bit of that because it's very
I
easy to
feel like
do
it.
just to be like, squirrel, this, that makes me think of that. And then you just like, you get so excited you want to interrupt
Yeah.
the other person. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like I definitely have certain things that they talk about with that like I relate to when it comes up. So I feel like there's a lot of people that have like certain things about them that could be
Yeah.
considered like related to ADHD. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think the spectrum is very wide.
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
but no, that's such a cute review. I like it.
Yes. Yeah, we can read one, like I'll read one to you each episode until we're through them. And then you
Yay!
guys can
I love
add
it.
more. Yeah,
Yes,
sometimes
please
people
add
do that.
more. Aw,
Yeah, only one of
that's
them I
fun.
was like, I think I've only ever seen one of these before because it was also on our good pods. Anyway, we'll
Mm.
get to it. But yeah, it
Yeah,
was all
that'd
like,
be
where did
fun.
the views come from? I was like, I have no
Aw.
idea. I've not looked in like ages. So it was really nice. Yeah, it was really cool. It was like, here's all your 5 out of 5s. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, oh, that's so nice. Makes me so happy.
It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes you can be like, oh, you're not like getting the growth you want or whatever. So then you get a little bit like boo, but then it makes it all worth
Yeah.
it. um yeah, we managed to kill 15 minutes without I didn't even have a fun fact. We were just gabbing.
Yeah.
I'll save the fun fact for the TikTok. I think it's just castles and cryptids. All right. I'm sure there's some young people on here.
It's funny, you're
TikTokers.
older than me and I'm not a TikTok person, so
Um, yeah,
I'm
it can be
also not
fun.
much of a Instagram person. I am like Facebook and YouTube, which is really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I get into, sorry. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. Certain things. I'm like, Spotify, what's this? Instagram, I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, this is cool. Yeah, I could be on this. But I don't get on
Yeah.
like TikTok actually a lot because I feel like, yeah, you can sit there for hours. It's like,
Yeah.
YouTube reels or Instagram reels or
Yeah.
freaking any kind of shorts, like any kind of Vine or whatever, where you're just like, how much time has just passed? So I like don't open it
Yeah.
up unless I know I'm going to be like doing something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, well, what are we talking about today?
We have some like haunted AF. Continuing that series, we decided to take
Oh, fuck. Okay.
F. Affleck. You remember that?
I
Is
don't
that a
mind when
duck?
people say "af," but it's not bad. Yeah, I do.
Affleck. Whatever
And
it's
we had
called.
a duck. Rain had a duck, an Affleck duck. It had a scarf and everything. She had a stuffy.
It's
I don't know.
cute.
I don't know. Yeah, continue. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
so we I don't know, I find like underground stuff really fascinating, so we wanted to do some creepy and spooky, possibly haunted underground and abandoned places. So I have a couple, and I'm sure Lana has
Hell
a
yeah.
couple we want to share with you guys. Mine aren't
Yeah.
super haunted, but I don't know. As always, I picked places that I wouldn't mind traveling to visit or take a tour of. So,
Some people like that about us. We give them ideas
yeah.
of where to go.
Ooh.
Ooh. Could this be
One
about a
of these
future review? Yeah.
One of these, definitely, if I would be able to, it'd be very easy to do, and I would definitely do it. It's not this first one though. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, this one's, I don't know, a little more like dingy, kind of creepier looking. Uh,
Dingy. Is it dank?
I'd
In the
say it's dank.
in the original sense of the word or whatever. I know that one got taken over as like a slang for the youths.
Oh.
Yes. My kid would be like, yeah, I know what a dank meme is. I don't
Mm.
know if my mom does.
Oh yeah.
She's so hip. She's
Yeah, I
so
was
hip.
just gonna say I'm hip. I'm hip. No, I'm dislocating my hip. No.
Oh God.
So the first one I have is it's kind of considered like these catacombs, but it's not actually technically catacombs, it's more of a basement. Uh but
This
it
is sounding
kind of
better and better. Is
but
it
it's
your basement?
actually
Oh, you don't have a basement.
I have a crawl space. But it actually is called like catacombs, but technically for like
Okay.
the definition of catacombs being like a burial ground, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't fit that definition, but it looks very much like catacombs do. I think that's kind of why
Mm.
it's been called that. They're located in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the US, which is also kind of unusual because most of the catacombs are like in Europe and stuff. They aren't really in North America.
Yeah. It's like
So
that car henge they had wherever in the
yeah,
US that was just a
I like
bunch of like
that.
painted gray cars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So the city market, catacombs as they're called, lay beneath the city market, which is visited by thousands of people each day. And it's the site, it's kind of like a really cool place. There's like farmers markets. It has like an old
Oh.
history of being like farmers markets, and uh it is a site of a National Register of Historic Places, and it serves as a popular event venue and home of several of these farmers markets. It seemed like there was little like shops and places you could eat, like little cafes and stuff, which was pretty cute.
Yeah, that sounds adorable and like so much fun
Yeah.
to wander through.
Yes. Many of these visitors who walk above on the streets don't realize what lies beneath their feet. This network of catacombs that cover roughly 22,000 square feet or 2,044 square meters. So like it's pretty big.
Yeah. It gets to a point where I'm like, that sounds big.
Yeah, I'm like I don't know what that means.
It was several football fields. All right.
Yeah, probably.
She big.
And although the subterranean structure has held that nickname for nearly a century, the true catacombs are constructed to serve as an underground cemetery, which those below the city market never were or were like built to do. Like that's not why they were built. It was never intended to be used like
Oh.
that, but it has always been called catacombs.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. So it's supported by these limestone brick arches and these pillars, and the area was originally the basement of Tomlinson Hall, which was a municipal. Oh, couldn't say that word.
Municipal.
municipal municipal building that used to be this four-story building which held theater performances. There was event spaces and even a convention center that could seat like 3,800 people.
3,800?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So pretty big for the time. The Because the building was built in the 1880s after there was a generous gift made to the city by Stephen D. Tomlinson. Um, I don't really know how he got his money. The stuff I read didn't really say, but it said that his will contained very specific instructions for this building to be built of the city market and a community building. So it sounded like it was kind of two buildings that were like pretty close together. And
Okay.
yeah, and like these catacombs are kind of the basement of maybe the whole thing. He stated that this generous donation for these buildings was a gift to the citizens and city authorities, and that not just any old business would be able to rent out space in it. Like, it was for like these theater performances and event spaces. It wasn't really just for like rich people to use or whatever. It was going to be like more for the community to be able to use.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just
So,
trying to put some photos on the drive for mine, but I'm listening.
so after like 71 years of holding all of these historic events that happened, the Tomlinson Hall was destroyed in this really big fire in 1958. And firefighters ended up using so much water trying to put out the fire and contain it that it started pooling in the streets and froze in the streets because it was actually January when this fire happened. So like the
Uh-oh.
streets basically turned into like an icy lake, which wasn't good.
No.
And um, I can't remember how many times I read this. It might have just been in one of the articles, but I wanted to include it. And that was that investigators believe that the cause of the fire was a pigeon carrying a lit cigarette butt, which I thought was the weirdest cause of a fire I had ever heard.
Oh.
And I kind of am obsessed with it. I was like, that
No, I'm just
sentence.
picturing a pigeon walking around and he's got some sort of a thick, like, New York or Boston accent, like, "Hey, Jimmy!" And he's got like a cigarette dangling out of his like
I
beak.
love it.
Oh, that's
But
worse than
yeah,
the cow
so
that kicked over um the bucket and started the Chicago fire.
oh, is
He
that what happened?
well, that's I can't. It's the rumor or whatever. He kept referencing it on that. I was watching a Bill Nye show the other day about disasters. Was I telling you? It's called
No.
it's called The End Is Nigh. Nye, like Bill Nye.
Yeah.
Bill Nye,
Bill
the
Nye the
science guy.
Science Guy. Science.
Yeah.
Bill.
He was talking about Pompeii, and he was pretending to be in like a theater watching the movie about it. And he's like, and blah blah blah, and this many people died or whatever. And then somebody goes, Bill Nye the spoiler guy. It's really fucking. I was just like, I
I
love this
love
so
how
much.
cheesy Bill Nye always was.
But then he's just like so smart, and he's just like he's still so
Him
like
and
well
his
dressed and dapper and
him and
like
his crazy bow ties. Just I love it.
yeah. He could laugh at
Yeah.
himself, and then he's like, and then this crazy thing happened. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so apparently this fire at least, it wasn't a cow, but it was a pigeon carrying a lit cigarette butt, which I thought was hilarious.
He's friends
Um
with the crow with the knife. What? I don't even have a button of
oh
this guy.
fuck,
What's
what's his
his name?
name? Oh,
Fuck.
I can't remember his name. He lives in BC, in Vancouver
Yeah,
specifically.
Knifey the crow.
Um
Stabby.
Step. Uh he's got a name. But so at least this fire I don't think anybody died. I never read about anybody dying, so uh
That's good.
yeah, so like after they tried to put out the fire and I guess it kind of worked, and then stuff started freezing because it's January. The city and the public fought like pretty hard for like 6 months to try and prevent the complete demolition of this historic building, just because the fire had been like pretty big. Um, but their efforts
Right.
basically failed, and then it ended up having to be demolished in 1958. And all that was left of the building at that time was these basement catacombs. That's all that remains of the original building. And it said that these catacombs are one of the few that can be found in America, and also some of the best preserved catacombs like in the world. They've held up like really good for how old they are, I guess.
That's pretty good. And
Yeah,
probably a little younger than some of the other ones because
probably.
still, yeah,
Yeah.
America.
It's like 140-ish years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Respectable.
Yeah. The catacombs have been used for many purposes, as far as I could read. Like since they were built, they've been used for storage during for these market vendors that like sell above, because it stays like pretty cool down there. It said before refrigeration, like it was a really good place. They could keep like produce and everything down there, because it stayed so cool.
Like a
And then
root
with like
cellar, right?
yeah, exactly. With the invention of like refrigeration, they didn't quite use it for that as much, but it was still a good area. In 1912, during a particularly cold winter, it ended up being converted into a sort of homeless shelter.
Oh,
And yeah, which I thought was cool. In 1913, it was used as a refugee camp and supply depot during the Great Flood. I don't really know anything about that, but um and then it
somebody
also said
does
it
somewhere.
yeah, somebody does.
That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're talking about
No.
hidden, haunted underground.
It also said it had been used at some point, maybe as a police firing range, which I thought was pretty cool. Um
Weird.
some of the areas and tunnels are starting to crumble, but most remain pretty secure. It has about 140 some columns that were built to hold up more than the actual weight of the building and market above. So it was like overbuilt. But it is now like they have noticed some deterioration, I guess, in it.
Hmm.
Uh, Previously, the catacombs were off limits to the public, but today it seems it's some things talked about like these different movie nights that they have down there.
Movie
Um,
nights.
yeah, it also said that they have parties because the building above was used, it sounded like, to pass laws to end prohibition. So they have like end of prohibition parties that happen, it seemed like each year around the date that like prohibition ended, that they have these like parties in the catacombs, I guess. Sounds kind
Nice.
of fun, to be honest.
Yeah, like going to
Um
a speakeasy or something and being like, "Woohoo!
yeah, this I
Can't
imagine
stop us now!"
more
Sorry.
like a rave, but I have no idea. Hopefully they aren't causing any damage, at least. There's
People
organized
at raves usually cause the most damage to themselves.
yeah. Unless it's like a silent rave. That'd be so funny. I would love to go to a silent rave and just
Oh, I just
watch.
meant like yeah,
Yeah,
puking,
the
ingesting
drugs.
too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
they also offer these organized tours. It sounds like it's only a couple of days a month, so like very limited space. These
wow.
tours allow people a chance to explore the creepy network of tunnels and hallways, and the location is also popular with ghost hunters. Each of these I only really found like a couple little snippets. It wasn't very much about like actual anything creepy, so sorry, but uh
Right. No, I was just wondering
yeah.
how much like the tours are. I because even the ones that you can go to, like because I was recently back home visiting, and it's like, oh, they're not taking tours for Oak Island or whatever. It's like, darn it, I would love to go and
Oh.
do the little tour, and then I don't know exactly what type the tour was, but Claude, like my mom's husband, was like, "Oh yeah, they're like $800 or something." I was like,
Oh
"What?
my god, no. This
VIP tour much?"
this I think it would be an American, but it said something I read said it was like $12. So maybe like $20
Oh,
Canadian. Like not
this
yeah,
is
no.
yeah, this
I
is the
think
kind
it's
of tour we
just
need.
it just said you had to like book well in advance because they only do it a couple days a month.
Well, that's good they don't drive the price up then.
Yeah, it seems like at least from what I read.
I'll
So
try
a
and
couple little
confirm the Oak Island, but they're not selling
excuse me.
tickets right now.
Yeah, wow. That's a lot.
I know. I'll see if it's true.
So several of these like ghost hunting groups have had the chance to investigate the location, and some have even gotten to spend the night down there, like alone, all creepy. There
Yeah.
are like pictures of it in the drive. It's not too bad. It's just imagine like brick kind of like archways and pillars, and you're in I don't know, like a cellar kind of basement thing.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
dirt
yeah.
floor. Yeah, dark everywhere. Uh yeah, all these like tunnels and everything. Yeah, I guess they can spend the night down there maybe, and many have reported some interesting activity. In the articles I read, these are the only things that really talked about. Um there was a Dan Lakes who is an Indiana Landmarks Catacombs tour guide. So I think he works like for them.
It's a great
He
name. Dan Lakes. Daniel
yeah,
Lakes. Like an
he says
explorer.
explore the lakes. He says that no bodies or anything have ever been found and stuff. Then the city market executive director, Stevie Stoez, he was quoted as saying, I believe nothing, but I've seen and heard enough. He continued saying, I took a picture of a tour group one time down there, and they were like, Stevie, take a picture of us. And I was like, okay. I grab a camera, and the minute I clicked it, I didn't know what it was. It was a white thing that came straight up, and I caught it in the frame, and I was like, you guys, you guys. And then the quote ends, and that's it.
What? I was
I
like,
was like,
Stevie was
God
really
damn it.
spinning the yarn here. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, no. But that was,
um
I tried looking up, like, Catacombs haunted, like this one, and those were like the only two quotes of anything I could find. So I'm sorry.
even
But
Reddit didn't come through. Oh.
no, like nothing really came up. It was just talking about the tours. And then I was like, well, show me the stories. It says that people, like, obviously, if they have ghost hunters going there, like, nobody's talking about it. Like, nobody's talking about it online after they've supposedly investigated this place.
Yeah, or like where's like the clips? Like this time I was like, I'm actually
Yeah.
gonna go. They keep talking about it being on these different shows. I'm gonna go to like videos
Mm,
and see if
cool.
any. Yeah, yeah, you can watch that little clip of the Ghost Adventures, guys. in my
Yeah.
um, quick update. The TripAdvisor says when someone asked how much the tour cost for the Oak Island, NB Goose reviewed this attraction, and they're from St. John, New Brunswick, so clearly I trust them implicitly. Um, they paid, from my neck of the woods, they paid $25 each for a small group tour. That's a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, that's way better.
I think Claude was
$800.
pulling my leg.
I hope.
Anyway,
My next place is the one I definitely like. You have to be careful, but I don't condone it. It's also, I don't think you're really supposed to do this,
I'm
but
sorry. It's you're putting your hand aside like you're whispering. She's telling me a secret, guys. It's
yeah,
so cute.
I definitely would do this if I was in the city. It's in New
Yeah.
York City,
Oh
and
damn.
it's called the City Hall subway station. Um,
Oh, okay. Is there like a bunch of art and stuff in the
n-
subway
no,
stations?
it's just way too beautiful to be abandoned. and I need to see it. If I'm ever in New York, it is
Oh.
happening so quickly. Uh yeah, it's so pretty. But yeah, so this is called the City Hall subway station. It's located in New York City, and it says that passengers have been desperately trying to catch any glimpse they can of this like supposedly haunted subway station. Uh
Okay.
yeah. The City Hall station was opened in 1904 and was part of the first underground line in the subway. So
Mm-hmm.
like they had above ground before, but this is one of the first lines that opened that they built underground in New York. And it was described as the jewel of the subway system and was right next to City Hall. So like they went above and beyond, like crazy how nice it looks.
Oh yeah.
Um
Don't want to look like shit next to City Hall.
yeah, it was the most stunning of all of the original stations that they built in this time. It was complete with like these stained glass skylights. So even though it's underground, it had all these beautiful skylights. They were like
Hmm.
painted stained glass, these vaulted
Oh
tile
yeah.
ceilings, and all of these brass chandeliers. Like, um, lots of articles said it was like all this decor was more fit for like a fancy palace than this underground subway station.
Yeah.
And
Are we in a hotel?
yeah, oh, it's so cute. The beauty of it and like all this stuff is thanks to the he's a Valencian engineer who immigrated to the US in 1881. His name was Raphael Gustavino. Uh
Ooh, Raphael.
and yeah, he it sounds like helped design like a few different things and may have even been involved with like Grand Central Station and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
that's the
that.
biggins.
Yeah, because they talk about like all this different, specifically his like they're like, yeah, all this Gustavino like tile can be found at these different places in New York, and you're like, he has like tile named after him. Um,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know you made your mark when.
Mm-hmm.
There's my tile, bitch.
So the day that the subway opened in New York City, it was like described as pretty amazing. With the time it taking to get from Harlem to Wall Street going from 2 hours to just 15 minutes. Like taking this, it was a huge deal.
Shit.
And the line, I think it's called the number 6, it runs like 13 kilometers long and had 27 stations, most of which are still operational today.
Wow.
At the time it opened, even the mayor, George McClellan, he was enthralled by the subway, and he asked the conductor if he could take control of the throttle. Like he wanted to drive it, and unwilling to offend the mayor, the officials basically had to say yes.
Oh
I
my
said
god, it's
things took
Thomas
a
Edison and his freaking train riding all over again. That's
yeah.
what, yeah, that's right. Got hit with the
Uh,
badger.
Things took a slight bad turn when he refused to hand the controls back over to like the conductor, and ended up driving almost the whole way from one end of the line to the other before finally like handing controls back over. I think he was supposed to only steer for like maybe a few seconds, and he's like, I'm gonna do this for 15 minutes, which still,
Like when you
yeah.
let your little kid steer, or my dad
Yeah.
used to put our like stuffed shark guy on his lap and be like, he's steering the car.
Oh, that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
The station was closed in 1945 for a few reasons I ran across. There was seemed like a lack of traffic in the area because they had like a better, bigger station that opened nearby, I think.
Uh,
And also because of the curve of the station, which something said it was 121 meters. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to measure a curve, but that's what the curve is. It's pretty sharp. Like it is like
oh.
basically a quarter section of like a full circle. Like it is very sharp. It said that it
Oh, I know. It's
around
like, shouldn't they
19
give us the degrees or something? It's like,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Um yeah, so they had at around like the 1940s they had developed these newer longer trains, and this curve that was at that station It's basically the whole station is just a curve, like it's not a straight station, it's completely curved. That this
Mm.
curve was like too sharp for these newer and longer trains, which made them unable to open their doors safely. And so people couldn't actually like disembark or get on at this station really anymore with their new trains that they were
Oh my
using.
God.
So it basically got abandoned. It now lies empty and unused at the end of the number 6 line. It's not
Wow.
solely unused, like it still gets used, which is how you get to it, I guess. So
You
three
just
of
can't get
the
off here.
yeah. Three of the other stations have also closed along the number 6 line. These trains no longer stop there to pick up passengers, and the entrances to the street were all sealed. And then at the city hall station, like those bright skylights, it seemed like were covered, so you can't really see them from the outside. It seems like it's still at least lit, I guess, for like safety, but at
Oh.
least in the videos I saw of people that have got there, yeah, because some stuff said it was dark and you couldn't really see it unless you were really paying attention. But I saw a bunch of videos where it's not that hard. Um, so
Okay. So,
yeah,
like, you might have to take some lighting with you.
yeah. The New York Transit Museum used to run tours of the place for its members. I don't really know like more than that, other than that these tours were suspended due to structural risks that they found at the terminal. So there must be like something going on.
Oh no.
Um, the station is often referred to as a ghost station, and today it's actually called the City Hall Loop. Uh,
Oh, okay. The ghost
yeah,
loop. Ghost train.
yeah, I did talk about ghost trains, and then yeah,
Better than the
if
midnight meat train or whatever that old freaking horror movie was.
jeez, I can
I mean, it's
imagine.
not that old, but it was pretty gory.
Uh, yeah, I think it's called the City Hall Loop because it's this like station and areas currently being used to turn the trains around. So like
Ah.
it's not like this lines we have here where the everything can just go back and forth like one way or the next. Like they're
Like the LRTs we have, yeah.
yeah, it seems a bit different. So this one, yeah, like they have to turn the trains around. So due to its placement on the line, when you look at like the maps, it kind of does look like it's at the end of the line. It kind of does loop, so they'd be able to like fully turn around. So I guess
Oh,
that's
okay.
handy with it being designed the way it was, and I guess its placement in the city at least.
Yeah.
So, despite the station itself being closed, the number 6 trains all still pass through the area, and some of the passengers, if they remain on the train after the last station, are lucky enough to catch a glimpse and go through the abandoned station like as it passes. And basically they get turned around. Um,
Oh.
Many urban
Stay on after the
explorers.
last stop.
Yeah, it was kind of
Ooh.
creepy. Many urban explorers, they're called, basically people that like explore cities, have managed to
Mm.
catch the station on their travels. There was an Ariel Vieira who described himself as an urban explorer, and I ended up this was the one of the main videos I watched. He shared a clip on his TikTok page as he headed to the subway, and he shared a glimpse of the deserted City Hall station near the modern day Brooklyn Bridge slash City Hall stop. Brooklyn Bridge, I think, is like the new station that's used instead of this one. It's like the closest one. It kind of replaced it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's in Manhattan at the end of the number 6 line. In the clip, Vieira said, quote, "This is how you see the ghost station in the New York City subway system. Now don't panic. This is the last stop of the 6 train in the City Hall Brooklyn Bridge stop, but stay on it. If you stay on it, you're going to get a very nice treat. A station that has been featured in this was weird. A station that has been featured in many countless classic movies, such as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." All right then. Uh, wouldn't count that as a
Ghostbusters?
A classic movie, and I don't know which one he's referencing, but all right
I was going to
then.
make a Ninja Turtles joke earlier when you said the guy's name was like Raphael something, but I
Oh yeah,
restrained myself.
you should have. It would have been perfect. Um, it said, as Vieira films The Empty Train, he continues. So I'm giving you a little background as we wait to see it. It's kind of cool. I'm so excited. I wish I could walk through it, actually show it to you, maybe one day in the future. There were a few plans of what to do with the station. One of the plans was to convert it into a restaurant, but then in 1995, they actually proposed to the New York City mayor, to make it into part of the New York City Transit Museum, and he denied it because he said it was too vulnerable to attacks and that it was a big security risk. I
Oh,
would like that to be elaborated on.
sure.
Yeah.
From the
It's
Ninja
the
Turtles and
yeah,
their enemies.
giant rats who don't like pizza. Um,
Wait, Splinter was their master.
yeah. It
I don't
says that
remember. I used to watch it, but I was so little.
I never really watched it.
Oh my god. Me and my sister were so into it when we were kids.
I was a Power Rangers girl. I watched Power
Oh
Rangers a
yeah.
lot.
That
Yeah.
yeah, that had its day too.
And not even the animated ones. I watched the ones where their like costumes were made and they were like fighting people. And you could tell so
The
much of
Pink
it was
Ranger.
cardboard. So much of it was cardboard. Um
Yes, those are all gems, and we also enjoyed Captain Planet.
okay. I don't
It
think I
was
really
like
watched that too much.
they were kind of Power Rangery, except everybody had
Hmm.
their own like elements. So it was like Earth, Wind, Water, Fire, and then I think they're like
Oh, I
Captain
definitely
Planet or
didn't watch
something.
that. I definitely didn't watch that then. It does
It's
not
all in the
sound
same vein, I tell you. It's like
love it.
go go team, you know. Go go
um
Power Rangers. God, now you got me
sorry.
singing it.
But people like that. Now we know people like our sing talking. Um
And our nostalgia.
yeah, right. He continues his video saying he seemingly explained why it closed, saying, so the reason they actually stopped this service to the station, he says in the video, was because of this screeching noise, which is like horrific. It's like super loud nails on a chalkboard. Well,
Oh,
it turns around just cause it's like screeching. It's so loud. Um
yeah.
it
I
said
can
by
picture it.
19 yeah, by 1945 they realized that this was too causing too much issues. The platform was too curvy, so it's actually a loop. So now, oh, this is like next part. I skipped a couple parts in his video. That kind of talked about stuff I'd already explained. The next part said, so now we're gonna go turn back and get a ride back to the station we started in, the Brooklyn Bridge City Hall stop. So that's how you see it. Stay on the last train in the 6th line, stay beyond the last stop and you'll see it and you'll get back to where you started. It said that that was the end of his TikTok that he did. It kind of went viral. It amassed more than 1.2 million views since being shared. Um, but in the
Wait, I
comments,
thought you didn't watch the Tiki Taki.
I didn't watch it on TikTok. I watched it like because it was embedded in this article.
Yeah, a lot of them come up on my Instagram.
Yeah. Um, he stressed, and I want to stress, that I don't condone trespassing, he called it, of any kind. It said, please
Mm.
respect the rules of the subway system. So I don't think you're actually supposed to stay on like after the end of the line when it turns around, but it's so pretty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, disclaimer, yeah.
Yeah.
We cannot be held liable over any
Yeah.
trouble you get into on the subway.
Somebody commented on the clip, Alina. Um, she revealed, quote, I accidentally went there because I was wearing earphones and didn't know it was the last stop until I looked around and realized I was by myself and I freaked out. I mean, it'd be pretty creepy. He shows because he's the last one on
Yeah.
his train too, and it's like turning around. It would be pretty creepy, but it's so pretty. Um
Hell, it was scary. You missed the stop, your stop on the bus and you're a kid. You're like, no, what am do?
I'll never get home.
Yeah.
Drink construct. Oh, so here's like the little snippets I could even find of um the thing. Hold on. I'll send you the. Mine came up really loud, but this is like TikTok. It was on YouTube. I watched it on YouTube. I watched TikToks on YouTube, okay? But this is
Hey,
like
someone.
his
Sorry.
video.
I heard someone talking about their favorite pens, and that made me so vindicated when I heard that on.
Yeah, we were talking about pens. Yes.
I think it was on Trails.
Yeah.
I think he was like a Papermate Inkjoy, and I was like, that was my friend Jill's favorite pen. I should not know
Oh.
that. Okay, I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm turning it on.
Yeah, a
First
lot of
have
that
to
is
watch.
basically what I read you.
Okay.
But the only two things I could
Sorry.
um
Oh, loud.
yeah, there's
I got
only
an ad
two.
for that fucking movie with that redhead. Ella Enchanted.
Oh, weird.
Make it quiet, you. Mute. Sorry. He was too loud.
Um the Yeah, you don't really need to listen to him. It shows all the words.
Sorry. My bad. They showed
The
the Ninja Turtles.
No.
What? Yeah, they just did.
Oh. I
And it
wasn't
was a
watching it.
poster. It was a
Oh, okay.
poster. That's fine. Nope. Okay.
So the
Oh,
only
shit,
two
I'm
things I
ready.
could really find about like haunting, there wasn't a lot. I tried finding more. It said that during construction of this station, it said workers claimed to hear strange, unidentifiable noises at night. And supposedly, eventually, one of the workers, who was a member of the Lenni Lenape tribe, I think that's how I say it. He recognized the sounds that they were hearing at night as like words in another language. And the station ended up
Ooh.
supposedly being built on the site of an ancient battle, with the moans belonging to the like fighters who had died in battle, like their spirits.
Weird.
And as this
Not what
story
you'd
goes,
expect there or whatever. In the middle of the
yeah,
city. I was just like, oh.
as the story goes, the agitated spirits continued lamenting about their lack of a proper burial until a shaman performed a ceremony that allowed them to rest. Yeah. And then the only other thing I found, which was even shorter, was saying that the mayor at the time, that George McClellan, who like took controls, it said that he is sometimes seen by some of the passengers when they're on the train, and he's like standing at the controls of the train, like on the 6th line, like continue driving it to this day.
Oh,
Ooh.
damn. Dedication to your job.
Yeah.
I like that.
But
That's creepy. I'd be like, what the hell?
yeah. Yeah, so that's all I found. I didn't find much about the haunted, but if I'm ever in New
Yeah.
York, I may or may not be trying to get into the City Hall station. If I end up getting
Yeah,
arrested and
damn.
Alana has to bail me out of jail, or anybody in my family, it's because I was trying to see this subway station.
We just tell them we're trying to see what's the big one again? Central Station or whatever?
Grand Central Station?
Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
There's
But yeah.
the one we were in Toronto was big enough. I was like, I feel like I'm in Grand fucking Central Station right now.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
the huge
so.
vaulted like ceilings and yeah.
Yeah, this one's so pretty. Like, I would
Dang.
definitely probably prefer to see this over the Catacombs, just because the Catacombs might be creepy. This I feel like I wouldn't find creepy at all.
Right, your catacombs in
Yeah.
Indiana? It's hard
Yeah.
not to think of the French ones, so I always have to.
Yeah, right? It was
I
like
know.
Catacombs.
They get all the
Yeah.
attention, the Paris ones.
Yeah, and I already talked about them in one of
Yeah.
our other episodes, so
I know they
yeah.
can't, yeah, they hug all the spotlight. It's time to move over and let someone else have a chance. There's
Yeah.
other catacombs. All right.
hmm
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, check out the website for sure for the pictures. It's so cool.
Dang. I
And
was
I'll
looking
I'll
at the
put a
pictures. Yeah,
I'll put a
sorry.
link to the video. He talks about how to get to the City Hall subway loop or whatever you want to call it.
The City Hall sign, like it must be leading up to City Hall out of the station. Yeah, it's very,
Yeah, that was like the
very
big,
cool.
you know how like every station has like the big sign telling you which station it is. It's pretty
Yeah, and like
cool.
what door you're going out. Hopefully, it should tell you what it takes you to. But
Yeah,
this is just like
like
so much prettier than it being like, written on
yes.
the signs we have now. It's like in the actual like stone or whatever. I'm not good at describing
I
architecture.
think
I'm
it's all
sorry.
tile. I think it's all
Tile.
tile.
Right. See?
Yeah. Like and
Terrible.
the whole station is curved. Like
Right. She curvy. They were judging her. They
yeah.
said she's too curvy, but I say you're too curvy. You're too straight. Anyway,
Well,
no, that
we'll
was
take a
awesome.
yeah, thank you. We'll take a break and we'll come back for more.
Hell yeah. Come up for a breath of air and then we'll go back underground.
Hey, I'm Gina.
And I'm Amber.
And we are here to bring you the Weird True Crime Podcast, where we cover true crime cases that will leave you asking yourself, did that really happen?
We'll dive into well-known and not so known cases throughout history. Some are unsolved and some are just unbelievable.
We'll also talk about current news topics that range from kooky to questionable on episodes that we like to call Weird Headline.
Be sure to subscribe and listen on your favorite podcast service.
Okay. We are back. Oh, I do sing talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Literally was like, wow, yep. Anyway, so I just put some pictures up on the drive.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
I'm
oh, so
always
they're putting some
so quick to be like, yay, I'm done. I get to close all the tabs except the one we're in. And then I'm like, oh yeah, the drive.
Nothing is actually in a I don't think I put anything into a folder, although I may have started one
Oh,
on
okay.
my computer, and then just now as you were talking I was like, oh yeah, I can just go on my phone because I wanted to have a few more pictures, and then I can just put them on the drive right from my phone. I forgot I had the ability to do that. Oh yeah,
Oh
here we
no,
go.
I see one with a skeleton in what's that like thing?
There's some very catacomby looking pictures, but
Yeah. Oh.
we'll get
Yeah,
to
wow.
those. That's
That's so
actually
creepy.
it's gonna be a
And
little creepy. We'll definitely put pictures.
yeah, holy
Put them
shit. I was not expecting those pictures. It's a lot.
and then I just was like uploading them, so I'm like, these are just like going into the drive willy-nilly, like here, there, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like
Whatever.
interspersed with pictures of us on vacation in Vegas.
I
It's like,
didn't
boom,
even name
skeletons.
them.
Boom, skeletons.
And then there's also going to be a folder with a few in it too, called Edinburgh. Oh God, how do I say that again? Edinburgh. You know how
Yeah, something like that.
it's because when I have to write it, like to spell it, I have to be like, it's spelled Edinburgh. But
Yeah.
anyway, so now I have to switch back to how do I actually say it? Okay, so yes, there's going to be some pictures interspersed in there, and then also in that folder called the Edinburgh Vaults. All right.
Okay.
So these are in Scotland, in Edinburgh, clearly. I just had a complete conniption fit deciding how to say that. I'm like, I can hear Helen Mirren. You just have to think of someone someone from the UK would say it. Okay. Okay, so these vaults, I had never heard of them, but to give you a little background, we first got to talk about the South Bridge, because that's kind of where the history of the vaults comes into play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which don't think of it like a bridge over water, which I kept not really making this connection. You'll see. It's a road
A bridge
bridge.
over.
A bridge
Oh,
over
okay.
troubled water.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
It's yeah. Okay, so the definition, according to our friends over at Wikipedia, is it's a road bridge and street in Edinburgh, Scotland, between the High Street and Chambers Street and Infirmary Street, which is a fun name for a street. But
Yeah.
they're very descriptive. The High Street, you know. It extends to North Bridge at the north and Nicholson Street at the south, forming a level roadway over the steep valley scoured parallel to the High Street. When the crag and tail landscape was formed, I like that description. It's fun. And it also has the Cowgate roadway along the bottom of the valley, which runs along the largest arch of the bridge.
The Cowgate?
Cowgate sounds like a cow debacle of some
Yeah, I
kind,
was just gonna say Watergate, but it's cows. Cowgate.
everything. Yeah, gate's gotten such a bad connotation now that
Yeah.
we're bringing gate back.
Yeah, let's reclaim Gate, people.
I just listened to an episode of Fuck My Work Life called Snack Gate, because it was about how like snacks come in for free at work and then like people take them all before everybody gets a chance to get to them and stuff. You know, it
Ooh,
happens
yeah.
everywhere. I was like, this is very
Yeah.
true.
At my work, it's one girl specific, or one woman. She brings in a whole bunch of really nice, like, vegetables and stuff from her
Oh.
garden. Like, she has a
Oh,
really nice
okay.
garden. So she brings in, like,
Right.
zucchini and, like,
I've done that, yeah.
squashes and tomatoes. And some other people bring in, like, apples. And then other people are, like, walking out there like they just grocery shopped at
Yeah.
a store. They basically fill like a
Armfuls.
produce bag and are like, I took 5 of them, and it's like ugh, just take one.
Yeah, come on. Although this
It's on
year
the table for 5 minutes, like,
I-
and you took
I'm-
all of them.
I couldn't give away my zucchinis this year.
Yeah,
I was getting teased for
I was supposed
slinging
to take
zucchinis
one.
at my friend's barbecue get together thing, Michaela. It was like
Yeah.
her friend with the Jello shots was like trying to give away the Jello shots. Was I telling you? And then she's like, "And you're still over there
No.
trying to sling away zucchini?" Because I was like, "Anybody want zucchini? Like anybody wants zucchini?"
Nice.
People are like, "No, my mom already gave me one." Like anybody, they were like, "She bakes." It was like, "Oh my god, I can't get rid of these things." And now,
Yeah.
speaking of which, the ones that I picked in there, I thought I had a bunch of peppers to pick. They're very, very green, so it's just like, okay, these are just like green bell
Yeah.
peppers. They're just not green yet. And then some of them started turning orange and then red, and then it's like Pat's like, I think they're actually tomatoes, and I was like, that does kind of feel like a tomato now that it's all like red. But they're like long. I'll send you a picture. They're long. They're very long for tomatoes. They're very kind of like rectangular shaped.
Oh, I've
Anyway.
seen there are some tomatoes I've seen like grocery store
Very
that
strange.
huh.
Okay, I literally have a picture on my phone that I can text you right now of the one that I sliced. Yeah, but they're good. It just I thought we had
No,
peppers.
as long as they're good.
Yeah. All right. Tomato picture sent. Moving on. Cowgate. So the city is apparently very hilly, built on 7 major hills, one being called Castle Hill, which we clearly need to go there. So very
Yeah.
on brand.
Well, I do want to get to Scotland because that's where my
Oh.
mom's side of the family is from.
Yes.
Yeah, there's some island off of Scotland that's where my family's from on my mom's side. So,
Dang. Remote islands. They have hell of a lot of stone circles out there.
yeah.
You're probably a time traveler. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that tomato really did look like a pepper.
Right?
Based on the slices I can see of the tomato, it looks
I,
like you sliced a pepper like very awkwardly.
I looked at the bottom of it and I still had to think about it for
Yeah.
a minute. I was like, is that the inside of a tomato? And then I was like, nope, those aren't pepper seeds. It finally had like
Like,
some gush to it.
I'm gonna look it.
But in between the inside of the gush, it had like literal spaces, like very square pepper shaped spaces. I'll put a
Yeah.
picture up. First we had zucchini that
Yeah.
looked like big dongs. Now we got square tomatoes.
Jesus.
All right, vegetable talk.
A new segment. Talk about produce.
Good lord, a new tangent. So they were building all these roadways, bridges to connect like the new town areas, the new town to the old town, expanding. And they like built this bridge out of, I think it was some like repurposed cobblestones. So like they demolished a bunch of other areas and then reused the
That's cool.
stones. Yeah, it was like recycling. And then by 1788 it was completed, so it took them like about 3 years to build the majority of it. And it has been called a monumental, albeit fundamentally flawed, feat of 18th century engineering and design.
I love it.
And I was like,
Fundamentally flawed.
yeah, they like started out the article with that. I was like, where is this going? You'll see. We're gonna get to the vaults. So hold on. They decided for the grand opening to have a prominent citizen be the first to cross the bridge. So they chose a well-respected
God.
judge's wife.
You're gonna break her ankle? Some shit. Fuck. Just have a heart attack and die on the bridge.
Sorry, I had to cough and then and then that came out as a weird cough laugh. Yeah, before she completed her duty, she seemingly fell ill and died. Nothing told me how, even, but she did die.
Oh, okay. But she wasn't on the bridge necessarily.
Not yet, but promises had been made, so she was the first to cross it, just in a coffin.
Oh shit!
I mean, technically somebody would have to be bearing the coffin, now that I'm thinking about the actual logistics, but yeah, they still sent her over first.
Okay. Wow.
You were just like processing.
Just picturing them putting a coffin on a cart and just like kicking it so it just like wheels across the bridge so she can go first.
Yeah, there's a horse, but the horse doesn't count. Yeah.
Yeah.
So immediately, because it's 18th century Scotland, everybody thought the bridge was cursed. And most people would not even walk upon it for like the first few years, even, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. They would rather
That's
take
great.
the awkward and, yeah, the quote, awkward and practical route through the deep valley of the Cowgate. Cowgate. So space was precious in the city, and the roadway had been designed extra wide to double as a shopping street. I think it said it was Edinburgh's first, in fact. So like people set up shop along the really wide bridge road street, and the customers were willing to risk the curse to come sell their wares here. And then next came in the tenement houses, which came built along the sides of the arches of the bridge. And 18 of the original 19 arches became blocked by the houses, leaving only Cowgate visible.
Weird. Okay.
It is, and it's still the only one visible to this day. I tried to get modern pictures of it, but I didn't find they showed really good. I was like, well, I can see a roadway, but then there's like just a lot of buildings and stuff now. So,
Yeah.
but there's like a sort of diagram of what's happening with the tenement houses and all the stuff getting built around the bridge. Because next, floors and ceilings were built beneath the blocked-in arches, making these, quote, dark, airless, vaulted chambers.
Oh, okay,
fly
I
now.
see that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I never would have thought that there was like any sort of bridge underneath those buildings. Yeah, so did they just keep like building on top of it? And then they
Right,
kind
so
of
there's there's shops on top. Hop on Pop. No. Sorry, that's the Dr. Seuss book we used to read. There's the wide stone bridge, and I'm thinking like, yeah, you can picture them from like Europe and stuff like that. We don't have this kind of
Yeah.
stuff here, like Roman arches and shit. And then there's the shops so there's the shops on top of that. And then my understanding is now they start building up on the bottom of it beside the arches of the stone
Yeah.
bridge. And then they like build floors and walls so that there's like, yeah, little rooms underneath the bridge.
Yeah, that's really weird.
It was so hard. I was like, I couldn't picture it. And then I could find like maybe one or two little kind of drawings of what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, at first I'm like, and then the water, but then where is there water? And it's like, no, wait, it's a roadway. Like, I was just like, I couldn't picture it at all.
Did they all drown?
Because they keep saying bridge, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
Under the Bridge. Great Chili Pepper song. So they these spaces were originally used as workshops for the businesses above, while the vaults below ground level even were used for storage. So I guess there's even more vaults below the ground. Because it has to be underground, otherwise what are we talking about it here for? It all sounds
What are
creepy
we
to
even
me.
doing?
If I can't go scuba diving, what's it all been about? Creed. So soon taverns, cobblers, cutlers, smelters, victuallers, and milliners all made their mark with establishments here. Old-timey jobs.
Yeah.
I even
All the
tried to Google.
trades.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is a milliner? And I got nowhere. But the fatal flaw to the bridge was not a curse of a corpse, but the fact that they never properly waterproofed it, which would be a big issue if it was over water.
Yeah.
Actually. But also it's rainy there. It's open to the elements, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't waterproof it due to the like lack of budget for it. So it quickly began to leak and gradually became uninhabitable. Like it became so like dark and dank and moist that people couldn't live there. And they would get like cholera and shit. Like, so you really couldn't.
Jeez.
Like, because people were, working there, living, and whatever. But most people end up moving away from the bridge, except for like the most vulnerable and worst off of the citizens and whatever. So they probably have nowhere to go.
Couldn't afford to go anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the poor immigrants, like the Irish fleeing the literal potato famine. And then like the Highlanders, seeking asylum. Apparently they were seeking asylum clearances. You can come seek asylum under my kilt. I think
you wouldn't
probably
wear a
they
kilt.
were being. I can wear a kilt. I know, whatever. I think probably they're being hounded out by the British, if I had to take a guess, but it's just been my general experience of who's bothering the Scottish. We love you, all of our UK listeners. Don't hate me. I I'm British, Scottish, fucking everything. I'm at everything. All right. But also there was living there, they said mercenary landlords and body snatchers.
Oh yeah, it would be about that time, wouldn't it?
It is. It
All the
is.
doctors and medical fields and everything, they're starting all the we can do autopsies to learn about science and human bodies.
Oh yeah, and there's a few criminals in particular that took up shop here that we're going to talk about too. So that's fun.
Is one of them is one of their names Burke? It's something in Burke, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Borgin and Burke's or whatever it is in Harry Potter. That shop they go into in the dark alley. Nocturne alley.
Yeah. The only reason I know is because Simon Pegg and Nick Frost did a movie where they played those two. And when I worked at
They
HMV,
did?
yeah, I got upsold by a guy I worked with to watch that movie because I said I loved Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. And he's like, have you seen them in this
Oh,
movie? I was like,
yeah.
no. So I spent like $23 buying this stupid movie and I had to have it shipped to the store. And I was like, God damn it, you upsold me.
Wow.
Your
Yeah, 'cause
coworker.
that's not
Yeah.
one I've heard of, I don't think.
No, I'm
What's it
pretty sure it's
called?
probably on my bookshelf, like beside me. Something in Burke. I could probably find it.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll probably get to it here. Okay.
Yeah.
So it became a real red light district of debauchery with quote brothels, illegal pubs, gambling dens, and illicit black market trading. End quote. So yeah, there's still definitely some people doing their business here. There's shady business.
Mm-hmm.
But still a general lack of quote air, light, heat, ventilation, and sanitation took its toll. Within 30 years of its opening, the vaults were abandoned to the elements. So that sucks.
Wow. I mean, it
Yeah,
had a good run. 30 years for anything, even nowadays, is pretty decent for use of a building.
I guess you'd hope if they did the stonework correctly, then I mean
Yeah,
it's
it would
still
have lasted
standing today,
forever.
but yeah. I was gonna say yeah, and then and they didn't use it for the first few years too. So soon then they were filled in with rubble. This was to help keep the structures like stability up and as well as to keep people out until 1985, the good old 80s, when a chance excavation, I have a real hard time spelling and saying that word, sorry, revealed the labyrinthic network of rooms and dwelling places within. That was a quote. The vaults were opened back up for tours, and they actually maintained by this lovely little night worker named Jamie. That there was a clip of him on like the BBC website or something.
Of course, his name is Jamie.
He's got these big ears. He's like, I work here at night. My friends think I'm a little crazy, but oh well, I'm used to it. And he's like, he does work on like you know how they never waterproof the stone? Like he tries to put what is it, caulking between the stones, and then he's like repainting the doors and stuff like overnight.
Oh
I'm like, that'd be the
God.
most terrifying place to work when
Yeah.
no one else is there.
It could just like get too much water erosion in between all the seams and cracks, and like a wall would come down.
I suppose it's possible, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Or the ghosts will get you. So you can apparently take historic or ghosty tours provided by, I'm not sure if it's Mercat or Meerkat, MER cat. Not, yeah, they might have an exclusivity on the tours there, but they also mentioned a tour on Visit Scotland website about like where a costume guide tells you all about the murders and like the witch hunts and all that fun stuff that happened here, like the Burke and Hare murders.
Oh, okay, Birkenhair, that's what it
Is Kelsey half spoiled? No, I'm just kidding.
is.
You knew one name.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm gonna say the first thing that pops in my head, Burke.
Nice.
I was not feeling confident about it at all. I'm surprised it was right.
All right, go with your gut.
Yeah.
So, something called the Judgment of Death Act in 1823 led to a drop in criminals being executed, which were the only bodies that medical schools were allowed to dissect. Wah, wah.
Okay.
So, like, body snatching went up, and grave robbing, and then selling to the medical schools for whatever. Like their that Black Mirror episode, which I finally got to because Daniel did keep asking me if I watched the newest Black Mirror on Netflix, and I was like, no, and then I did.
The
And
season.
yeah,
I haven't finished this season yet. I've watched.
oh, the body snatching one had a lot of rat stuff, horror going on. It was
Okay.
freaky to watch before bed. Yeah, uncomfy.
I don't know if I watched that one because I started watching the newest season, then I was like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of the older seasons that I haven't seen all of. So then halfway through the
Right.
newest season, I
That's
was like, I'm gonna
true.
go back and watch a bunch of the old ones I haven't seen instead. And
Yeah,
then I
the
stopped
seasons are
watching any of
short.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
finished this one before I'd even realized it, and then Pat was like, "Oh, I'll put it on," and then I was like, "I think you're on season 2 now." Yeah. Um. So, yeah, even like people's relatives would watch over their graves, the
Yeah.
new graves, yeah, of their loved ones to make sure. Oh, and I might have put a picture up of one of the watchtowers that they had installed in some of the cemeteries where people could station themselves, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
like
see. Yeah, I see one of them.
okay. Yeah, like a stone tower. Or like it kind of just looks like a little lighthouse made of stone or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like a little lookout thing.
Yeah. But I mean that was cool. So yeah, the fresher the bodies were, the better. So the unsavory, well, they're all a little unsavory. Body snatchers would just kill the person themselves. Just,
Yeah.
cut out the middleman or whatever. Death.
Serial killers love that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Because how do I dispose of this body? Let's, like, no questions asked, sell it to a medical school. Like, perfect.
A serial killer is born.
I killed this dude 5 seconds ago. As I was knocking.
Dead yet?
Yeah.
All right. William Burke and William Hare both originated from the province of Ulster in the north of Ireland and moved to Scotland to work on the Union Canal. Burke having abandoned a wife and 2 children back in Ireland. Isn't he nice? That last page has nothing on it. Also, got most of the Burke and Hare stuff from the historic UK.
Okay.
Just we'll be quoting heavily from that one. They had the whole gist, the rundown. The pair's first foray into the world of they ended up living close to each other in Scotland and struck up a friendship. So they both lived in Ireland, but then they both moved to Scotland and met there. Yeah. Their first foray into the world of medical science happened in December 1827 when one of Hare's tenants, an elderly army pensioner by the name of Old Donald, died of natural causes while still owing $4 in rent.
God damn it. Yeah. $4.
Old Donald. Shake my fist at you.
He wasn't young Donald?
Yeah, sometimes the young Donald in like the Outlander books are like, well, how old is young Donald? They're like, 3.
Well, eventually young Donald's gonna be old Donald.
They just keep naming people the same names. It's really,
Yeah, when you only got like 5 names.
To cover the man's outstanding debt, the pair weighed his coffin down with tanning bark prior to his funeral and took his body to the medical school at Edinburgh University, where they were swiftly pointed in the direction of Professor Robert Knox, a popular anatomy lecturer. Knox paid the duo £7 and 10 shillings for Donald's body.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Harry Potter character. Knox, Robert Knox. Seeing how well that went, when another tenant named Joseph became ill, they decided to hasten him along to his demise. They liquored him up with whiskey and smothered him with a pillow. They found that this was perfect, as it would leave little to no marks on the body. And then they used it so often that it became known as burking.
Wow. I don't
Yep.
really remember that from the movie, but
It sounds made up.
to be fair,
honest.
I haven't watched the movie in probably 8 years since I got it. I watched it once. So
I'm sure it was extremely accurate. No. Yeah.
yeah, I remember it being okay. It wasn't my
Oh, yeah.
favorite, but
It wasn't Paul, the one with the alien.
no.
Maybe just got Simon Pegg. Ugh. He's good.
No, I think Nick Frost is in that one too. All the Cornetto trilogy. The Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and The World's End.
And friggin'
I've talked about it
Funny
before.
Kid. Wow,
Yeah.
my brain is not here. The Saturday Night Live girl. There's a bunch of funny people in that. Kristen Shaw? No.
Kristen
Wiig. Yep. Possibly Jason Bateman. He might have been talking about it on Smart List. I don't remember. They were like, "You're so good. You're a master of the slow blink, Jason Bateman." It's really good at looking really fucking pissed off. Okay, so yeah, they began burking.
Oh, it's awful.
Sorry. I know, it sounds terrible. So they began luring poor unsuspecting victims to the house to kill, estimated to be around 16 or so in total. They got bolder and bolder in killing like even young women who were engaged in sex work, like one Janet Brown, who went to Burke's home with friend Mary. Hi, Gordo.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, he's being annoying. Lay down.
Having excused herself earlier in the evening, Janet returned to find her friend missing and was told Mary and Burke had stepped out. Having waited for her friend to return, Janet eventually decided to leave, having no idea that Mary was lying dead in the next room, ready to be taken to Knox, and that she herself was the next likely victim.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it really sucks. Burke and Hare soon became greedy, and no one was safe. An elderly grandmother was killed with an overdose of painkillers, and Hare murdered her blind young grandson by breaking the boy's back across his knee.
What?
About it. Yeah.
Okay, I definitely don't remember that from the movie.
Sorry, I probably should have trigger warning that one. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah, holy shit.
Her blind young grandson. Great. Why couldn't you have given him painkillers? Like you did it to the grandma. Oh.
Wow. That's awful.
Oh, they're terrible. So they even are like, I don't know if I mentioned it because it said that they both were married. So one of them's married to Helen, and it says, even a relative of Helen's, Anne McDougall, was unhesitatingly dispatched. However, with greed came carelessness. A number of Knox's students were said to have recognized Mary and two other, it says prostitutes, murdered by the pair, Elizabeth Halden and her daughter, who made... It just said disconnected, sorry.
I think
Gordo? No. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, Gordo's foot just went across the laptop and he was pushing buttons. He's pushing my buttons.
He pushing my button, baby. I don't know what that was. Okay. Jesus Christ. So a number of Knox's students were said to have recognized Mary and two other prostitutes murdered by the pair, Elizabeth Halden and her daughter, who made the unfortunate mistake of calling at the lodging house to inquire after her missing mother. The gossip was exacerbated when the pair brought in a handicapped children's entertainer. They're so bad. I'm sorry. Trigger warning. They're okay. By the name of James Wilson, who was well known in the city as Daft Jamie, which is also just mean. Knox was said to strongly deny the identity of the body, but swiftly removed his head and deformed foot during the dissection.
They're trying to hide his identity.
They are killing people that are recognizable. They're just being really fucking dumb. Then they started to get suspicious of each other, and each couple started doing their own business on the side. On Halloween, 1828, Burke and Hare's last victim, Marjorie Campbell Docherty, was invited to stay with Burke and Helen on the pretense that she was a distant relation of Burke's mother. Burke's other lodgers, a couple called James and Anne Gray, were invited to stay temporarily at Hare's boarding house that evening so the murder could take place. On their return to Burke's lodgings the following day, the Grays were told that Marjorie had been asked to leave because she had been flirtatious with Burke.
No.
She got a wee bit flirty. I fucking love it when they say that. Their Scottish accent. Oh my god. Okay. I'm so sorry. The couple became suspicious when they were not allowed to enter the spare room where they had left some belongings. And when left alone, they discovered Marjorie's dead body hidden under the bed. Yeah,
all right.
Don't care anymore. The couple challenged Helen over their discovery, and she offered them a bribe of £10 a week if they would keep the discovery to themselves. The Grays refused and reported the murder to the police. However, in the meantime, word must have reached Burke and Hare, as by the time the police arrived at the premises, Marjorie's body had been removed and taken to Knox. That dude. Burke and Helen, and later Hare and Margaret, were all arrested and gave conflicting accounts of what had taken place, with Burke and Hare each blaming each other.
Of course.
Yeah, at least they got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were tried for the murder of Marjorie, and Janet came forward to tell of Mary's disappearance, and then Burke was charged with her and James Wilson's murder. That must be Daft Jamie. William Burke was hanged at Lawn Market in front of a boisterous, cheering crowd of over 25,000 people. 25.
Wow.
1,000.
I mean, if you don't have TV, watching people get hung is the next best thing. Fuck.
I know, I can't even read that. I'm like, is this a fucking Metallica concert? Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Sold out tickets to the hanging tonight.
We're gonna go see Death in the Gallows. Christ.
Invite all your friends. Bring your children.
Oh, like what does they call it in the front? Then when you can get wet, first
the
row.
splash zone.
Yeah. Oh no.
Jesus.
I'm terrible. Okay.
That'd be more like the beheading, like the guillotine or something.
Yeah. I don't want to see
much
hanging. Oh, sorry.
No, I don't think there'd be much blood at a hanging, but
no, but it also like it can just go so wrong, or like they do it on purpose where it doesn't snap the neck properly, and then you're like, oh, you're not supposed to be just like suffocating. That's horrible.
Well, same with the guillotine.
Yeah, it's quicker though. You're one and done. I don't know.
At least, unless it's like dull.
Ooh, yep.
Yeah.
So that was on the 28th of January, 1829. And fittingly, perhaps, after being put on public display, William Burke's body was donated to medical science.
Yeah. That's pretty great.
Grosser still, in my opinion. A number of anatomy students took ghoulish souvenirs of his skin, even using it to bind books and card holders.
Ew. the fuck?
Oh god, I forgot about this. Burke's skeleton is still on display at Surgeons Hall in Edinburgh next to his death mask and the life mask of Hare's face. Damn.
Oh, I think I had heard about that. That sounds vaguely familiar.
And I don't think there is like one picture where someone's like, there's a skeleton in kind of those stalks, those wooden things they put their head and their arms through in the vaults pictures, but I don't think that's not what they're talking
No,
about.
it looks very like cartoony.
Yeah, there's no death mask in that picture either.
No.
Despite his obvious involvement in the murders, his accomplice Hare was released in February 1829, I guess, and escaped across the border into England. No one knows definitively what happened to Hare, but it has been rumored that he was thrown into a lime quarry by an angry mob and lived out his days as a blind beggar on the streets of London. Damn.
Sounds fitting. He deserves it.
Yeah, that's karmic retribution for what they did to that little boy.
Yeah, somebody should pick him up and break his spine on their knee.
Yeah. And both Helen and Margaret also fled Edinburgh as their wives, with Helen said to have emigrated to Australia and Margaret to Ireland. And despite mass public outrage, Knox was also cleared of his involvement in the murders, as Burke claimed he had no idea where the bodies had come from.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, sure. I think that, wouldn't that be Knox claimed he had no idea? I don't know. But his reputation in ruins, Knox moved to London to try and salvage a career in medicine. And then afterward, there were like copycat murders in 1831 by the London burghers in Bethnal Green, which finally spurned the Anatomy Act, which allowed for legal donation of bodies. Yay!
Okay. Well, that's
Right?
good.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
Something good came out of that. Okay, are you ready for the haunts?
Yes.
Okay, so there's clips. I watched the clip online there's like a 4-minute clip from Ghost Adventures on like YouTube or whatever. So they went there, and then he was calling out, Zach Bagans was calling out, it was like, Zach Bagans calls out ghosts in the Edinburgh vaults. And then he's
Of course
like,
he does.
Mr. Boots. He's like, Mr. Boots, are you scratching people, Mr. Boots? Are you up in here hurting people? Oh, well, you could scratch me. So yeah, there's this ghost called Mr. Boots, also called the Watcher.
The best name, Mr. Boots.
Yeah,
Sounds like a kid's program character, Mr. Boots.
Right? That's why, like, I think something I read said he doesn't like the name Mr. Boots, so you could also call him the Watcher, which is gross.
Yeah.
He's a tall, shabby man who hangs in the back section of the vaults, and he has heavy footsteps or boots. He apparently photobombed a visitor, Emma Sturgeoner, who was taking a picture of her sister Lauren in July 2015. Oh, that one might be just on.
Yeah, is that one picture?
Is there anything captioned anything like that? Sister Lauren.
There's a picture of somebody with a circle behind them that looks like there's something behind them.
Okay, yeah, that could be it. Let me double checking.
I think so.
I was able to get one of the. Yeah, that one is the picture we're talking about.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a silhouette of a person.
I felt like I could see some legs or something. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can see like shoes, like of a different like texture and material, and then kind of like maybe a long, darker jacket, and like a face or hat or something.
Yeah, long coat and boots.
Yeah. Need boots. You like my boots?
Okay, so we actually have a few other like named ghosts here, so that's always fun.
Gordo
loves the ghosts.
Get back in the box.
We need Schrodinger's box. What is the cat doing in the box? Is the cat dead in the box? We don't know. Actually, that
No,
thing,
he's probably sleeping in the box.
I think that. Oh, anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent, but that Schrodinger's box thing is even darker than I originally thought. It's like there's something in the box with the cat that's gonna dissolve and make the cat die, so that's why you don't know if the cat's dead. I was like, that's
Yeah.
really fucking dark.
You didn't know that? No, it's not
I just
like a
remembered it was
cat.
something about the cat being dead or not, but you just didn't know because you weren't looking in it. Maybe I thought the cat
Yeah.
suffocated. I don't like to think about cat
No,
death
it
that
was like
much.
yeah, that's what it was. There was something in there that was supposed to kill the cat, and until you open the box, you don't know if the cat's actually dead or not.
It's terrible. It's just bad. I mean, they don't have to use those kind of analogies, do they? Anyway, so there's the aristocrat, who is a well-to-do gentleman, tall with a black hat and a beard, and he like leans up against the wall and grins at you if you see him as you pass by.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Leering. Leering.
Grinning. And then there's a guy called the cobbler, who's a short, stocky man with a long apron. It said he also smiles, but he was a positive presence, so he must be a little nice,
Oh, okay.
I guess. And then there's also Jack the child.
Jack the child.
Yes, a blonde, curly-headed child about 6 to 7 who wears a blue suit with knickerbockers. Oh, I think are those socks? I don't know, but he likes to tug on your clothes and like grab your hand.
Aww.
I know.
Sounds kind of sweet.
Fucking sad. So how are we doing? Okay, yeah, I got a Reddit story, and then I'll tell you. I got a brief amount on that other one with all the bones. So
Yeah, that one looked fucked up.
yeah, but it has less ghosty stories. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, I hope that wasn't that fruit fly. I ran out of water too. God damn it. Okay.
Alana's eating bugs.
So there was one called, it was actually posted on The Truth Is Here by Read, Write, Laugh. I know.
Read, Write, Laugh. What
That's
is
their
this?
name.
Live, Laugh, Loves sequel?
No, it's pretty good though. It's I think this is some about the scratches, about people that get scratched by Mr. Boots.
Oh, okay.
So this one said, anyone else have crazy shit happen to them in the Edinburgh vaults? This happened years ago, October or November 2011, when I was living in London and working as a study abroad advisor for American college students. And it's been on my mind a lot recently. Every semester, the guide started talking about this entity that lives in the third vault. No one really knows what this thing looks like. There are lots of reported ghost sightings, but the entity is different. Only that there are several stories of people leaving the vault and finding scratches on their bodies. 2 Canadian tourists apparently left the vaults covered in scratches. At least they said they were Canadian. It's usually Americans.
Yeah, Americans have been told to tell people that they're Canadian while on holidays.
And they do it.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And there are a handful of other stories. And then one creepy story the guide told was that a woman took her younger daughter on the tour, and when the flashlight went out in the third vault, the mother realized the daughter had moved all the way across the room. And the daughter said someone with 3 fingers grabbed her hand and walked her there.
How gross. I don't like that.
That's a fun detail, eh? When I was there with the students and other tourists, the vault was super cold and the guide's flashlight went out. It was spooky because that's a spooky ass setting, but again, I thought it was sort of a cheesy tourist trap.
It's spooky because it's spooky. It's spooky.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely making money off. It's not like it's not bringing in tourism, but yeah, I bet it's spooky for sure. There's a lot of energy there, I am for fucking sure. We finished the tour and I went back to my room to Skype with my stepdad, a history professor, about all the cool things I'd seen. After our call, I went to change into my PJs, and as I took my pants off, I noticed 3 long, perfectly straight scratches that basically wrapped from just above my knee, up my thigh, around toward my butt.
Gross.
Yep.
It's getting handsy.
Yeah, almost at her butt. They looked like cat or kitchen scratches.
Kitchen.
You
My
remember when Gorda
kitchen's
was a wee kitchen?
I love kitchens. Kitchens are my favorite type of cat.
Leave me alone, ate a bug.
Oh, hi, Gordo. Hi.
They looked like cat or kitten scratches. I hadn't felt a single damn thing while I was on that tour. It scared the shit out of me, naturally. I called my best friend in London and made her get on Skype to see them. And then I went down to where the students were hanging out.
Look at my butt.
Asked...
No.
Yeah. I would do that for you. You gotta have those kind of friends, you know?
Yeah.
I asked a couple of girls I'd become closer to come look in the bathroom. I felt like I was going crazy. A couple of them saw the scratches and were like, nope, 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 bye, bitch, I'm out of here. A little bit later, one of the male students came up to me and was like, hey, me too. He had 3 scratches behind one of his ears. And then it just says TLDR, which means too long, didn't read. Yes, those underground vaults in Edinburgh are really haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's other stories and pictures on Reddit, and I would say the brave for people to post pictures because some people just rip them apart and they're like, there's nothing in here. I'm like, still, you don't have to be so mean about it, even if you can't really see anything in the picture. Like
Yeah,
what the
it's
fuck is that, your
hard.
finger? Like, you know.
Aw.
Yeah, they're kind of mean. People could be really nice on Reddit. People could be really mean on Reddit. I mean, it's the internet, I guess, right?
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, like there was other stories about people getting scratches, but yeah, you get the gist. So yes, my honorable mention, or my quick covering of this crypt that you see here on your screen before you, is called the Capuchin Crypt, and it's in Rome.
Okay. It looks super, very much like the catacombs in like Paris.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
With all like the bones and everything and like all these different designs. It like on the walls.
Very skull heavy.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
I love the pictures. I was like, damn, if I can just talk about this one for a minute, that's good enough. I don't even care if there's any like specific ghost stories, but I bet it's pretty. Well, you'll hear. There's a bit of a history. It's officially called the Museum and Crypt of the Capuchin Friars. So it consists of a series of small chapels beneath the church of Santa Maria della Concezione dei Cappuccini, or something like that.
Cappuccino?
It's literally cappuccino, but with an I at the end instead of an O.
Cappuccino. Singular? Is it plural of cappuccino? Cappuccino?
No, wait. O is singular, because the singular of graffiti is graffito. Yeah.
Oh.
Which is weird sounding. No one ever say graffito. Don't do it. I'm never going to say it again. I feel like such a douche. It's true, though. Fun fact.
As you pushed your glasses up your nose.
My fucking glasses are old.
You didn't do it from the middle, but you did it from the side.
I could do it from the middle with the middle finger.
Yeah.
You ever need to do that to people? Yeah.
So my mom and people do at work. When they're like mad at a customer, they just push their glasses up with their middle finger.
We used to have a code. Well, Michaela would always say when people were being too demanding, she'd be like, oh yeah, I can do that. And as soon as we'd hear her say, yeah, sure, no problem, we'd know. It'd be like, oh yeah, you're a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just say yeah, no, and yeah, sure, no, no, yeah, and
Very
apparently
non-committal.
it's a very Canadian thing to say like yeah, no, and no, yeah,
Oh, there's
oh
entire
no, for
TikToks of
sure,
which ones mean yes and which ones mean no.
yes. It's
Yes, no,
basically
yes.
whatever
Yeah.
it ends with. Whatever it ends with is
Yeah.
basically what we're saying. But it's
Exactly.
funny because I didn't realize it was a Canadian thing, and then
It
I was
is.
at work the other day, and one of my coworkers who's not from Canada was saying it. And I was like, oh, I was like,
Fully
yes,
assimilated.
yeah. But I get how it can be very confusing to people who are like, yeah, no, yes, oh no, for sure, oh yeah, no
Exactly.
problem, like,
You need, yeah.
oh no, totally, like
It's
yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so this church. Okay, now I'm gonna have to stop us saying yeah so much because I'll be like, oh no. Okay, but okay, I'll say it one more time. The Church of Santa Maria del Concesione di Cappuccini contains the bones and mummified remains of an estimated 4,000 individuals.
Yeah. Based on all the individual
them.
skulls I see like plastered to the walls. It's
All them
insane.
friars. Friar Tuck,
Wow.
Friar everybody. Probably a lot of Cisco's, actually.
Yeah.
So it said the Capuchin order believes the remains of former friars are a silent and poignant reminder of our mortality and the passage of life on earth. So that's pretty cool. And then I liked how Atlas Obscura said that I guess the Marquis de Sade went there for a little visit. Do you know who he is?
No.
So he's like the guy where they got the term sadism from. Like he
Oh
was very like
God.
depraved in his
Fuck.
tastes and things. Yeah. So in
Wonderful.
1775, the Marquis de Sade wrote of it, "I have never seen anything more striking." Which
Ugh.
I was like, all right, it's to your taste, is it?
Ew, gross.
Oh yeah, you could definitely make some cheesy horror movies down there. We watched a horror movie. It's one of those, they go to like a wax museum, and the wax museum like things start coming to life. The person like steps into one, and then they're like, boom, you're transported to like that scene. And like one scene, this girl like starts getting like whipped or something by like this like Marquis de Sade type guy. Or I think because maybe the wax figure is supposed to be him. So then she gets like transported into it, and then he's like whipping her, and she's like, ah, you know, it's very hot. Anyway,
I feel like that sounds vaguely familiar.
I
I
love
don't know if I'm
wax.
just thinking the House of Wax or whatever. Is it the
No,
House of
it's an
Wax?
older one than that. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
forget what it was called. I'll ask Pat. Yeah. They like go into it. A wax museum at nighttime. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for this place, Mark Twain wrote about it in his 1869 book, Innocents Abroad. When Twain asked one of the monks what would happen when he died, the monk responded, "We must all lie here at last." And lie there they do. Some 4,000 Capuchin friars who died between 1528 and 1870 are still lying, hanging, and generally adorning the Santa Maria della Concesione crypt in Rome.
Well, at least they all knew that they were going to end up there and that's what was going to happen to their body. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
Plus that makes me feel a little better. It's not like they were doing that with random people's remains or something.
No, it's like an honor, like being buried in the church
Yeah.
graveyard, or like
Okay.
the way the shadow hunters use all their bones to build the Silent City. You know.
I don't
No,
remember that.
what was it called? The Bone City, City of Bones, whatever.
They had a book called The City of Bones. So I don't.
Yeah.
Why did I not? They
Anyway,
also had a book
It's
called
where
The
the
City of
Silent
Glass.
brothers lived, and then
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Everything's like ashes to ashes, and then the ashes would be like interred there too in the city of bones.
I forgot about that.
Sorry.
It's been a really long time since I read those books.
Let me just give you a reference from non-reality. What, you don't remember that? God, what's wrong with you?
Like, almost 10 years since I read the first ones, at least.
Okay, fair enough. So this is still from Atlas Obscura. In 1631, the Capuchin friars, so called because of the capuch.
In
Capuche?
monkeys? Capuchin.
Oh, I saw
There's
a kind of
capuchin
monkey.
monkeys. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why it sounds familiar. Because that means their hood, I guess, which is attached to their religious habit. So they would like wear an actual hood or
Mm.
capuch or capuche. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. They left the friary of Saint Bonaventure near the Trevi Fountain and came to live at the Santa Maria place, of which only the church and crypt remain. They were ordered by Cardinal Antonio Barberini, the Pope's brother and a member of the Capuchin order, to bring the remains of the deceased friars along with them to their new home so that all the Capuchin friars might be in one place. Rather than simply burying the remains of their dead brethren, the monks decorated the walls of the crypts with their bones as a way of reminding themselves that death could come at any time. A plaque in the crypt reads, "What you are now, we once were. What we are now, you shall be." Yeah. That's got that very ashes to ashes feel to it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the as above, so below.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I kind of wanted to make that like the subtitle for this episode.
I didn't want to say it.
No, we're both on the
That's
same
about the
page.
Paris catacombs, so I mean,
I guess it's more associated with that, yeah. But it's also just like I feel like a famous saying or part of a quote or whatever.
I think so, yeah. I think it's part of. Is it not like supposed to be the thing about descending into hell? Like the 7.
Oh God, yeah, it could be from the. Sorry, kill the fruit fly.
Like 7 circles of hell or some shit.
Oh yeah, could be.
Yeah, that one. I think that's where as above, so below comes from.
I'm clearly such a religious scholar over here.
Same.
So this is fun. The ossuary. Oh yes, that's a bone word. Contains a crypt of skulls, a crypt of leg bones, and perhaps the oddest, a crypt of pelvises.
Oh, is that the one I was looking at? Being like, what the fuck are these?
I tried to, I might have got a picture of it because there's tons of pictures, yeah, online.
Yeah, I think I see the pelvises.
I thought I saw one online.
I think the pelvis is the one with the three skeletons in front of it. I think.
Oh, it looks like a wall of pelvis. So, yeah, that's
wow,
creepy. And then there's like ones kind of looks like they made figures like in the robes too in front of that one, which makes it just
looks like they reassembled. Yeah, reassembled all these skeletons and then put them in robes. One guy's just lounging in an archway. He's just chilling.
Oh yeah, they do talk about it. Okay. Is this it? Oh my God. Mummified monks were dressed in friars' clothes and hung from the walls and ceiling. So
okay.
Those could be the mummified ones. I forgot there was mummified ones. Ugh. With the addition of electricity, light fixtures were incorporated into some of the hanging monks, bringing a new meaning to the phrase "the eternal light."
Ew. The light shines out of his asshole.
Oh God, those details, yeah.
Wow.
And then I think I just said that another particular highlight of the crypt is the skeleton enclosed in an oval of bones holding a scythe and scales, tools that were made entirely out of bones. The crypt is said to have been the inspiration for Sedlec ossuary in the Czech Republic. Oh yeah, that one has whole freaking what are they called? Chandeliers made of bones and shit, I think.
Oh, really?
I believe that's the place. Yeah. There's so
Oh, I
many
made more mistake of what
bones.
there's one that's like a wall. It's one of the last pictures. It's like it
Yeah.
looks like they built like an arch kind of thing, but there's a whole
Okay.
bunch of like vertebrae from a spine that are making these lines on the wall. But then I just realized that in the middle of the wall is two arms, like severed arms that are mummified, like stuck to the wall that are kind of look like they're
Oh,
like crossing arms.
yes, it's like a literal coat of arms with literal arms. You are
Yeah,
right.
with
Wow.
mummified arms. One of them's wearing a
Oh,
monk's robe.
wow.
Oh,
That
that's
fucking
too
place
much.
is haunted as fuck.
Yeah, this is on my do not recommend to visit list. No thanks.
It'd be so
And it
cool
probably
to really
smells so
see.
musty.
I suppose.
I'd have to like tape an air freshener under my nose.
I know.
I'm
I
like, I
like
can't.
that. A certain must. You know, like an old library. I mean, book must.
Yeah, but
It's kind
like,
of sexy.
yeah, you think some mummified monk remains sexy?
Yeah, they probably don't smell. Well, they
No.
wouldn't smell like a body. You know, they wouldn't smell like
No, not
rotting.
anymore, but I feel like there's probably bugs galore there and everything. A whole bunch of rat shit everywhere.
Hey,
Yeah.
your ossuary smelling like five-star hotels. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, this is
I would.
wild.
I would visit.
This,
Yeah, I would at least go see it. Yeah,
oh, it just
during the
creeps me
day.
out.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
it creeps
lot.
me out.
That one's fucking like I forgot about the like oh yeah, they kind of stood some up and made them and then you're like, "Oh no, those are the
Yeah.
mummified people." Like those aren't just the skeleton standing up with a robe on or whatever.
Yeah, it looks like the ones from like science class that be hanging in the corner of your room. It's like a
Yeah,
monk.
but they're all like
Wow.
real. Yeah.
And then all these rib bones. They also glued rib bones to the ceilings to make circles. In one of the things, they made like
Yeah.
a really nice, almost looks like they call it mandalas. Those designs where they're a lot of circular
Right.
stuff. Looks like they tried to make a mandala on one of the ceilings using only rib bones.
Oh my God, is that where freaking they got the inspiration for the Game of Thrones? They always had things. There was one where the bodies spread out in a spiral, and then I don't know. I saw a post where they had a bunch of the pictures of the different things in Game of Thrones that were
Oh,
like all
in the
spirals and
in the
mandala.
first
Like,
episode after the White Walkers.
yep, that's probably the one where the bodies are
Yeah.
spiraled, and then there was like
That's like the
other
opening scene, I
instances.
think.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, I could
Yeah.
almost feel this one's like that feels almost very pagan to have those weird like we just made stuff out of bones.
Isn't it like the Fibonacci sequence or whatever is what the spiral is?
Oh, it could be like a visual representation because isn't that a
I
freaking
think so.
math
Yeah.
sequence doodle hickey? Okay.
It's everything being multiplied by itself. So it's like
Oh
2,
my God.
4, 16. And then it keeps going up. I think
All I
that's
know is pi is 3.1458 and then a bunch.
3.141592.
159? I thought it went 58 after that.
No, I
Damn
think
it.
it's 3.14159. What is pi? What is pi?
Is pi?
What is pi?
pi?
Oh, I typed pi instead of pi. So I was just
Pi
googling
is
what is pi, and it was like
crusted-
pie is cherry.
A crust dessert typically filled with fruits or meats.
Well, like show me the digits. Yeah,
It's
three
not
point one
showing.
four one five nine two six five.
159
That's right.
is the next one.
Yeah,
Oh.
I always remember 3.14159.2, and then I can't remember the rest.
I was trying to remember it from a scene from Modern Family where Alex is trying to out nerd the other guy who's up for like valedictorian, and they're like, Well, my GPA is this. Well, I'm this. Well, I
Oh
know
yeah.
well, I know the last digit of pi. Pi is 3.5. They start like saying it together. It's
Yeah,
fucking
a
nerdy.
couple. What did we do at my high school? We did pie days, but on pie days they had competitions during lunch. It was like who could recite the most digits of pi, and if you did, you got a pie. And if
And
you
it was
or no,
on
if
March 14th.
yeah, they
Oh,
did it, and then one year they let you pie. I think one of the math teachers or something. If you got a certain amount of digits right, you didn't just get a pie,
nice.
but you got to like. It was basically a pie plate of whipped cream in one of the
Right.
teachers' faces.
Yeah.
But
I'm
those
glad they
kids
don't
that were
waste
doing
good
it,
pie on that stuff. On the
yeah,
pie.
like two of the kids doing it, like I had known the one girl like I knew for quite a while, and then the guy I knew from like elementary school, and they went up somewhere between 50 and 100 digits of like pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nope.
But that
Couldn't
was
be
where I
me.
conked out. It was always 3.14159926. That's where I couldn't remember. I remembered like I used to know like a little bit more than that, but that's all I ever can recall now.
Yeah, I know nowadays,
Yeah.
right? It's like you barely remember a phone number, or like
Yeah.
you only have to remember something as long as maybe your SIN number. Like there's not a lot of things you have to memorize that are too
Yeah. Or
long.
you only have to remember it for like an hour or two. You don't have to remember it for a long time.
Make a 6-digit pin. Why the fuck should I?
Yeah. I can't
Okay,
know
but I'm using the
6
same one
numbers.
for everything.
Yes. Oh my god.
696969. Or it goes
Oh,
to
now you
hack
gotta
me.
change. Yeah, I was gonna say now
Yeah.
you gotta change everything.
Please don't hack us.
Yeah.
All right, well, we better get to editing this shit and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. What are we doing next week? You can tell them.
Um, hmm, I have it written down as occultish crimes or murders.
They're murders. Yeah.
Murders. It's gonna be some
Basically.
murder.
Some not quite satanic panic, but still like in that realm of like occulty influenced murders or crimes.
It's gonna be very fitting for the date it comes out. That because that's the Friday the 13th one. So you guys will want a nice dark
Yeah.
shot of castles and cryptids crime, and you're gonna get it.
Yeah. Should be another good one.
Yes. All right. Well, this was a fun one, and keep it cryptic.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Cause haunted underground, though.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
I had to fix the
Oh no.
last episode you did. I had to fix the number of before
Are
it
the numbers
posted.
wrong?
I think so, but you had put it as episode 118 and the episode before that was 118. So you had two 118s. It
So what was
changed it to
118? Was it native folklore or no?
and
That's
then
what my list
119
says.
was the crimes.
Yeah, so then 120 would be hidden underground, which is
Yeah.
what we're recording today. Because oh my god, we're recording for this week's. Wow, I'm gonna need to cut all that out. I sound so smart. Fuck, I brought them up here. Hang on. 'Cause I printed them out. Well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was coming. Okay. Burke and Hare soon became. Sorry. Your computer screen just moved.
I know, because Gordo moved his tail. Stop looking at me. I'm gonna put my mic. Hold on, I'll put my mic on back on the other side where your butt and tail are not. Here we go. So annoying.
It'd probably be
sometimes.
just as bad if you had one like mine. He'd probably be like trying to bat it. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's hard to say. Burke and Hare soon became greedy and no one was safe. An elderly grandmother was killed with an overdose of painkillers, and Hare murdered her blind young grandson by breaking the boy's back across his knee.
What?
So about it. Yeah.
Okay, I definitely don't remember that from the movie.
This has been Castles and Cryptids. You can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Anchor, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and our YouTube channel. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Reddit. On our website, you can listen to all of our episodes as well as view pictures for each of our segments. Check out our Patreon page to view all of our tiers and become a Patreon supporter today to unlock monthly bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes content. We are working on an Ask Us Anything. You can submit questions by social media or by email at castlesandcryptids@gmail.com. Do you have a spooky ghost story, a creepy cryptid sighting, or a thrilling true crime tale you would like to share and have us include in a future episode? Send us your listener story by social media or by email. Please include the name that you would like mentioned. Our music is by Kobe Fair. Our logo and artwork is by Antonio Garcia. Thanks for listening.